Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, guys, so this is U.S. Department of Justice. And of course, as usual, they want to focus on guardianships and guardians for elderly, which is important as well. But not to get too deep in here right now, but let me tell you, I was having a hard time finding crimes regarding guardianships of children, any type of trafficking, anything. And that tells me I'm on the right freaking path. Mistreatment and abuse by guardians and other fiduciaries. So this is a way to hold them accountable. Scientology. You guys know Scientology is adept at getting parents to sign their children over. What is abuse by guardians? While courts make efforts to ensure, right? Go look to see what little checks are done on someone to get a guardianship. It's not good, you guys. To ensure that guardians are trustworthy, some guardians have taken advantage of people in their care, like the ones that rape the children. Just go look it up. You guys will find way more cases than you want to know about. I mean, just talk about foster care alone. Just foster care alone. The mistreatment could be financial, physical, emotional, psychological, or any other type of abuse. Okay, they're concentrating on the older people, but you guys know I'm thinking of the children. Abuse of an older person or person with a disability. Do you guys think that it is an accident that, like a white blanket, I can't find anything regarding child abuse, child guardianship, unlawfulness, or human trafficking of children, utilizing guardianships? Do you think that on the whole entire internet, no matter what browser you're using, there wouldn't be any information? That tells me that I'm right on time. Guardians also may neglect the people for whom they have a responsibility to provide care, like Scientology. These perpetrators of abuse can be anyone serving as a guardian, or conservatorship, because they're both the same. Family members, trusted others, nonprofits. Let's not forget the government. Professional guardians, agencies. There is currently limited information on the number of guardianship cases involving abuse. Listen to that, you guys. Limited information. Come on, you guys. It's 2025. Limited information? You guys know what's up. The U.S. Senate Special Committee on Aging. Because it doesn't happen with children, right? It's just like complete whiteout. There's really hard, it's really hard to get information on that. And the U.S. Government Accountability Office have highlighted the problem and cited anecdotal information. The National Center for State Courts has found that most reports on the problem of exploitation by guardians lack empirical data, you guys. They lack empirical data. Why would that be? Why would that be, you guys? I'll tell you why. Because a lot of the trafficking is being done through guardianships of children. Facts. If you guys go read Transformation of America, you'll see it. Reports of fraud or other maleficence. I don't know how to say that. Malfeasance? Malfeasance? I don't know how to say it. By guardians have most often involved financial exploitation. Wendy Williams, Britney Spears. But other types of mistreatment are also reported. How about sexual abuse? Or when they sell the children? Could that be one? Abusive acts by guardians may meet the definitions for various state and federal crimes. No way. Depending on the facts of the case, guardians might be charged with such crimes as elder abuse, embezzlement, larceny, money laundering, theft, and neglect. I don't know what is my problem, you guys. What about sexual exploitation of a child? What about child neglect? What about child sex trafficking? What about child labor trafficking? I'm trying to think of the other ones. Well, that's a good start. For an explanation of how guardianship can be a vehicle for abuse, apparently just elders, it's a mystery. It's only elderly. Not abused children, not children in group homes. We know what's up there. Not children in child protective services. Who do you guys think are getting paid per head, per child? Facts. Can be a vehicle for abuse and trafficking, as well as a remedy. See the National Center on Elder Abuse. To learn about how to spot mistreatment by a guardian and what to do about it, see the National Center for Elder Abuse flyer. Because, in 2025, we're still using flyers. How can the courts with jurisdiction over guardianship cases respond to abuse? This should be interesting. When in the very few cases that they actually, not just the feds, but the courts actually do interfere, which they should. Let's see what they say. A court with jurisdiction over a guardianship case might uncover evidence of abuse through monitoring, or a person or government agency might need to file a complaint or petition the court to respond to mistreatment. These courts can take the following types of actions. Freeze assets and or restrict accounts, kind of like Chase Bank froze Wendy Williams' account. Because, banks are psychologists all of a sudden. Or whatever they claim to be. Once allegations of abuse have been made, courts can appoint a guardian ad litem. That applies to children as well. Investigator or visitor to investigate. A court can also audit an individual's assets. Of course they are. Because you guys don't see them doing this to poor people. Not like taking assets. Or order an accounting by an external entity, such as a certified public accountant. You guys go check up, oh my goodness. Go check out Casey Kasem's, what happened to him. You guys, it was so bad. It was so bad. And it's my opinion, I highly suspect that Scientology was involved. Go look into it. Order repayment for lost assets or property. Is Wendy Williams going to get hers back? Inquiring MF Minds want to know. Is Wendy Williams going to get her money back? Inquiring MF Minds want to know. Such orders might restore lost assets. But in many cases, wait for this, you guys, the only way to recover funds is through a bond that the guardian obtained upon appointment. It's kind of not looking good, is it? Sometimes courts do not require bonding when the guardian is appointed. I'm going to look more into this, because who's appointing the guardian? Making it, hold on, you guys. Had to get my readers. Making it more difficult to obtain repayment. Of course, we knew that was coming. For losses at the hands of the guardian. Isn't that what is going on with Justin Bieber? I think that's where it's heading. It should be illegal to do that. Enforce statutory rights to communication and visitation, just like they're doing to Wendy Williams she wants to visit her father and her family members and a lawyer. When abusive guardians use isolation tactics, you guys, where have we heard about isolation before? Can you say narcissism? Can you say isolate yourself in your house? Except Walmart was the only place that they didn't have to isolate. All the mom and pop shops did, but Walmart didn't, did they? Isolation like they do in Children of God, and they take these little children out to the middle of nowhere in various countries where they all say that the way to show Jesus is love is to are the children? Yeah, that kind of isolation. Use isolation tactics, family members and others may be able to seek orders enforcing state laws that define the rights of people subject to guardianship to interact with others of their choosing. Except if you're a child, right? Except if you're a child in Scientology and your parents maybe unknowingly sign guardianship over to someone they don't even know. Appoint a co-guardian or limit the powers of the guardian. How about not give him a guardian? I suppose there's certain times they do have to. This strategy may help deter or stop mistreatment by a guardian. Do tell. Oh, now we're talking. Remove the guardian. Now we're talking, you guys. You guys know that this Scientology deals exclusively with guardianship of children, right? Isn't it funny how nobody talks about it? They do it in the Kingston tribe. They do it... I'm trying to think of the other one. Anyways, a lot of the other churches or cults utilize guardianship. Remove the guardian. Removal may be the best way to stop guardian maleficence, and petitioners might suggest a willing and suitable replacement. Go and see what it takes to be a guardian, you guys. You'll be so upset. Can you say foster care? Terminate the guardianship. Less restrictive. How about that? How about Free Britney, you guys? Like a real, true Free Britney movement. Less restrictive options or changed circumstances might lead a court to terminate the guardianship entirely. Well, how about that? Yeah. I think about Wendy Williams, and these are just my thoughts and my opinions. Why can't Wendy Williams be set free? You have someone like Madonna that doesn't have to go through this. But Wendy Williams does? And I wouldn't want to see Madonna go through that either. I don't want to see anyone have their rights taken away like that. Besides courts with guardianship jurisdiction, who can address abuse by guardians? Well, geez, now we're talking, you guys. How about I can't help but still think about those Massachusetts cops that were raping the little girl. I know I'm off topic here, but numerous federal, state, and local government entities and nonprofit agencies can respond and provide services when someone suspects that a guardian is mistreating an individual, like raping them. How about when the guardian of the child is raping them? Is that enough? Although the court has the sole power to impose certain orders, such as removing the guardian or surcharging bonds, other entities can get involved and assist victims. These include Adult Protective Services. Anyone suspecting mistreatment by a guardian should report to Adult Protective Services. I don't see Adult Protective Services going in and taking all those elderly Scientologists out of there. Do you guys? Do you guys? I don't see the LAPD stepping in and saying we need to take these elderly people out and get them in a safe place. Find your state or local Adult Protective Services agency through the Elder Care Locator. Good entertainment anyways. Most states have laws making certain categories of people, like children. Oh, wait, no. Certain categories of people, mandatory reporters, like cops. But it wouldn't include cops that rape children. Just, let's get clear on that one. Reporters of elder or vulnerable adult abuse, and also children. I already know that because I read it. Protection and advocacy systems. I'd vet that one out good. Protection and advocacy systems are federally mandated state-based organizations that work to protect the rights of people with disabilities. It's good in theory, isn't it? Including guarding against abuse. Find your protection and advocacy agency here. Long-term care ombudsman. If the individual resides in a nursing home or, in some states, receives home and community-based services, the long-term care ombudsman can investigate and resolve complaints about abuse, neglect, and exploitation. It's free of charge, by the way, you guys. Maybe we need to get on some of the Los Angeles ombudsmen to get those abused elderly people out of Scientology. Unless they were hurting children, then they can rot. Including complaints about guardians. Anyone can file a complaint, but the resident or an appropriate representative. Isn't that like a real wiggly little sentence to put in there? An appropriate representative? Who is going to deem the appropriate representative? Must consent in order for the ombudsman to investigate. Listen to that. How would you investigate an elderly person being abused in Scientology then? You guys see? Must consent, or maybe a child. Maybe a family member of that person could be a representative and bypass Scientology. It's just a thought. For the ombudsman to investigate and share information. Yeah, that's when Scientology is going to invite the ombudsman in to have dinner, like they do with the Los Angeles Police Department. Allegedly, they bring the Los Angeles Police Department and the Hemet Police Department officers, allegedly, into the gold base, feed them like kings, when all the child laborers and the adult laborers around there are starving to death. You can see that by how skinny they are. And then they give them a big fat check. Unreal. Oh, you guys know I'm going to snap on this one. Law enforcement. Look at that, you guys. One who enforces laws. Enforces laws. Not rapes children. Imagine that one. A guardian's breach of duty may violate criminal laws and warrant investigation and prosecution. In addition to reporting to Adult Protective Services, individuals suspecting guardian abuse should report it to law enforcement. Kind of like Valerie Haney reported her rape as a child to LAPD and they didn't do anything about it? should report it to law enforcement. Contact your local law enforcement agency, your state attorney general. Yeah, we can trust that one. Or call 911. Oh, I wouldn't tell you to call 911 in LA, in Los Angeles, because they like to kill the people in mental health crisis. They don't help them at all. They don't even ask them for help. And then sometimes they announce to them, I'm going to shoot you. Just go look it up. It's public information. I'm not making up stories. It's a real story right there. Some recent examples of guardianship fraud cases pursued by the United States Department of Justice include cases in Pennsylvania and Florida. So here's more mandatory reporters, allegedly. Attorneys separate from the guardianship system. Something tells me Moxon is not doing his duty of care or fulfilling his lawyer duties. Don't you guys think? All that child abuse going on, elderly abuse, and Moxon's walking around all crazy looking and needs to buy some new pants. Separate from the guardianship system, there are various civil actions that may apply to abuse by guardians. Depending on state law, civil attorneys might bring cases alleging breach of fiduciary duty. We can hope, right? Breach of contract, like when they're stealing the children, but it kind of looks like it's legal. Or a private right of action for elder abuse. Isn't this really entertaining, you guys? It's entertaining to me. Remedies might include restitution, repaying money lost, voiding documents, including deeds or other monetary awards of damages. I wonder if all the child marriages in Scientology could be voided. The little girls that don't want to get married and they're forcing them to? Huh. Food for thought, huh? Federal agencies. If the guardian also serves as a Social Security representative payee or VA fiduciary and is misusing public benefits, individuals may report to the Social Security Administration. You guys, this is something for us to think about because the VA, not the VA. There's a lot of this kind of stuff going on in Scientology. Not just with veterans, but with the elder adults. This is something for us to think about. So that you would report to Office of the Inspector General or Social Security Administration. So some of these elderly people are having their benefits stolen because, what was her name? Rosemary. Mike Brown's mother was talking a little bit about that. Now, I'm not saying Rosemary said that the funds were getting stolen, but there was some really questionable things going on in Scientology when it comes to disabled adults or elderly adults. Professional licensing boards. In some states, professional guardians may be certified, licensed, or registered. State boards can investigate and may revoke a license or certification. If the guardian is the lawyer, the state has a committee that takes disciplinary action when a lawyer violates professional responsibilities. It's entertaining. Because most of the time the lawyers don't get disbarred. That's what I've been understanding. Hold on, guys. What is power of attorney abuse? Powers of attorney give a trusted person, that's that funny word right there again, you guys, trusted. Who trusts them and who's telling you to trust them? The agent, a great deal of authority and access to money and property without regular oversight. Yeah, you could say that again. Power of attorney abuse can take many forms. The agent might spend the individual's money on items for his or her own use rather than for individuals' needs. Kind of like what's happening with Wendy Williams right now. The agent might do things that the document doesn't allow, such as making gifts when the power hasn't been granted. The power of attorney document itself might be forged or fraudulent in some way. Like R1 visa fraud? State laws may help to prevent or limit power of attorney abuse. For example, Uniform Power of Attorney Act, adopted in over half the states, permits a third party such as a bank, oh, here we go, to refuse to honor a POA. Well, that's a good thing, I guess, when the abuse is suspected, except in the case of Wendy Williams, where the bank actually got involved when. Just go watch BJ Investigates, please. And the third party reports it to Adult Protective Services Agency. What are the remedies to address power of attorney abuse after it occurs? I'd like to see how many people actually go to jail for this, because I'm thinking not a lot, which they should. Lawyers may help people to stop power of attorney abuse and to get money back that has been improperly stolen, basically, by the agent. For example, a lawyer could draft a document to revoke or cancel the POA. Ask a court to require the agent to file an accounting to see how the agent has spent the money. Also good to remember in estates. I have experience with it. I don't want to get into it too deep, but file a civil action to cancel contracts or deeds that the agent should not have made. File a civil action to recoup money. By the way, I don't think you guys usually get the money back, do you? I guess it depends. Petition a court to appoint a guardian who can manage the finances if the individual is unable to manage money independently. In addition, agents under a POA may be prosecuted for abusing a power of attorney. Depending on state criminal law, power of attorney abuse might be theft, fraud, embezzlement, money laundering, exploitation of another financial crime. You guys notice they don't ever bring up children? Huh, it must be a conspiracy. Through the criminal court process, a prosecutor could ask the court to freeze the individual assets to prevent further abuse and could also seek restitution, repayment of money taken. What do we know about abuse by government fiduciaries? Reports from Social Security Advisory Board, the Office of the Inspector General for the Social Security Administration, the Government Accountability Office, in theory, that's what they all are, right? The National Academy of Sciences, and other government and quasi-governmental entities over the past 15 years have documented abuse by both individual and organizational representative payees. You guys know Scientology is laced with this, right? You guys know that. These incidents have prompted removal of payees from the program and, in some cases, criminal prosecution. Only some cases. The Office of the Inspector General for the Department of Veterans Affairs also has investigated and substantiated allegations of abuse by VA fiduciaries. They're really talking about the VA today. I guess I don't know that much about it. I do know that the VA has an entire department of fiduciaries. But I don't know if they're talking about family member fiduciaries or what. But apparently, fiduciaries have certain ethical standards to stand up to. You know what I mean? Like they gotta meet them. And this was updated February 10th, 2025 from the U.S. Department of Justice. And all the contact information here. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.